doing something uniquely massive. It's a special build. I am taking as much time as I can to build this massive construct castle that I'm going for. I am trying to take all my inspiration and build it into a full-scale recreation slash my interpretation of Dracula's castle. From every origin, from the actual book, from Castlevania, from Van Helsing, etc. Enter it here. It's probably going to have some sort of influence here in my construction. This whole world was started in a survival, but when I finally saw a little church that used to sit right at the base of my tower construction here, yes, the whole village was just a spawning situation. Right at the very base here was where a church used to sit, one of those villager churches. As you can kind of see, these are like the only two pieces that are still original, these torch totems and this like little window here. I plan to revamp that later. But for the meantime, it's going to serve as my base construction into my tower. Yes, for the most part, I'm just building the skeletal form of it right now. I'm slowly going to fill it in over time. This is, like I said, going to be as close to scale as I can get it, or at least my representation on the scale. I plan to build it pretty much like the Van Helsing variant of it, more or less. But I'm also going to use the Castlevania influence for most of the inside of the architecture and things. Right now I'm just building the base premise right now just so I can come back later on and fill in these gaps and these giant holes. Right now like I said, I'm just working on the skeletal structure of things. Right here will be our grand hall. That'll be our one of our towers. That little spot here is going to be the bridge across from one tower to another. But yeah, practically that's how I'm going to keep building. I'm just going to build as much of one section at a time as I can. Get the basic architecture down pat. And then I'm going to build the filler parts later. I was having a friend here earlier until something happened on the PlayStation Network today. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It's up for debate right now. But all of a sudden at 8 o'clock this evening, till about 8:30, I didn't feel it here till 8:30, 8:38 to be exact. The PlayStation Network situation went completely down. No multiplayer features. And just complete and utter chaos on the forums. I know my one friend who was here with us, his name is GameScare, he's frequented our channel here and there. I was watching the forums to see who exactly was saying what and how, try and figure out what happened. But no one's quite sure just yet. That corner right there. But no, I don't plan to finish this at all anytime soon. This is basically my starting premise of it all. And I just thought, since I'm here doing this on my own now, I would basically just, stream it while I'm here. Yes, I know the color patterns. The decorative part is going to be much different for most of the tower. I'm going to try to, for most of the towers and things, I'm going to try to keep to as close as I can get for representations from like the actual Dracula book by Bram Stoker, and I'm going to keep as much of it as I can visually to all types of what you want to call it, inspiration. Honestly, I like the way these came out. Kind of surprised they came out so well. Yes, I'm just doing this creative because, well, I did originally intend to try to build this but from ground zero and scratch and survival, but I realized after the fact that would take way too long. Way too long. First, it's a load of monsters trying to get up here. Now it's a randomized trader individual. Those traders also kind of remind me of the weird goblin characters from the Lords of Shadows games anyhow. I guess it's kind of fitting. I suppose. Time, sunrise, go. Weather clear, go. Okay, good. No, yeah, he was. Game was here earlier. It just kind of like was here 1 second and then gone the next. All because everything just decided to crap at the fan way too early. Okay. Anytime now. It's just kind of strange that it's just being like this. There's no reason you should... Lots of trouble. Lots of trouble. Well, other than that, this was going pretty well. There it goes. There it goes. Finally. Well, that's half the problem. Sort it out. It's a strange night indeed, for sure. And when I say Castlevania, I mean like the actual game adaptations. I don't mean the like animated series stuff. I mean like the Peter Gabriel Belmont stuff and the... Sorry, my bad, I meant the Gabriel Belmont, not the Peter Gabriel Belmont, for whatever reason. Anywho... I also mean when Gabriel becomes Dracula in the Lord of Shadows series, maybe even some of the Twilight Mirror and some of the other stuff too. And I definitely, of course, am going to throw some kind of like situation with the actual Van Helsing variant, obviously. And then most of my inspiration came from just books, really. The Bram Stoker's Dracula book, and all the other books over the years. Maybe even a few film adaptations from like Helsing and such. And the reason I decided to take on such a colossal project, because this week, past couple weeks, have been just monumental stress, and I always find myself relaxing and chilling out at home, and just kinda, like, I want to fucking build something, I want to pour all my aggression into this stuff. Sorry about my language, but just, I want to pour all my frustrations out in a productive manner, and the best productive manner I could come up with is, well, as you see right now, is building something glorious in Minecraft. I mean, I could write, but it's better not to write stuff of aggression and waste paper if I don't have to. And other than that, I'm just sitting here and just kind of batting out most of my feelings and frustrations right now, especially with people and places and things. 3 weeks of straight hell lately. Someone rear-ends my car. Work kind of just has a lot of grouchy people, and people spewing out their swear words and their frustrations there. Ugh, crazy crap everywhere I turn. Insurance company trying to get a hold of me because that person ran into my car. Went to the ER, had a bill for that. That's not cheap. I mean, the bill itself is cheap, but just having to go through all that crap is not cheap. It's ultimately frustrating. People just constantly making me feel old. People constantly making me angry and annoyed, and for no apparent reason half the time. It's freaking nuts. If I could afford to, I would move and buy my own home, and then I would be building in the middle of nowhere, literally. Have my own little farm, making tools and such all the time. I was gonna say samurai swords and other stuff, but I mean, I could make anything practically. Make desks, chairs. One day. But right now, it's one step at a time. I always have found myself being a creative person when I'm annoyed, if I can help it. Otherwise, I usually am aggressive, angry person. If I don't have to be, I won't be, but typically, I'm a nice person if I can help it. That doesn't mean I won't get annoyed. Yell, moan a little bit if I can and have to. I mean, it is what it is. Everyone does it now and then. least a little bit. Although, for a lot of reasons nowadays, I see people don't care to change. I care to, on the other hand. Personally, I would prefer to change. For the better, not the worst. But lately, all I seem to be able to find is people trying to annoy me and upset me and try to make me angry for no reason. Just because it seems to make them feel better, and that's not the way at all to go about things. Sure, it may seem that way, and it may not be the entire story behind it all, but, you know. So many damned reasons why people would do something. I cared to stop listening about a dozen years ago. Even though I turned the weather to better, clearer weather, I chose not to change, apparently. Sorry, if you're watching and you don't like heights, like I don't usually, you might not want to watch while I'm looking down. I don't know how most people feel about video game heights, but I know when I start to drop a massive distance, my stomach starts to like flop every which way. For some reason. I know it's kind of a late warning, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, great way of relaxing. I mean, another inspirational part of this that I've come to learn is when watching the other Dracula films from before all the ones I mentioned earlier, some of the architecture just doesn't look like it should for the time period in some of those movies. Sure, they're older time period movies, the way that those movies were created, but I mean, still, architecture just didn't always seem right. For example, the older Dracula film, Dracula Fact or Fiction, or the actual like original Dracula based on the Bram Stoker novel, or whatever, you know, the attempt back in like, forget what, the early years. One weird guy there. Can't remember the actor's name even. It's how memorable that made an impression on me. I'm excluding that from my choice of inspiration just for the safety's sake. I mean, technically though, if you really want my opinion, that movie just did not do the overall justice, in all honesty. Just because that old-timey Dracula movie just didn't seem right. There was just something off about it. You know, I take inspiration where I will. Let's see. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, there's a lot of movies for Dracula in the horror genre, and I'm not talking about the classic ones either all that much. There is one old version when I say classic, and I mean VHS classic style. And forgot what I still can't remember the actor's name. However, it's one of the less reputable ones. The movie literally is crap, to be honest. I lost interest after like the first 4 scenes where actual, you know, people are in the scene. You get the long movie, like, musical credit intro, and, you know, then you get like half a dozen out of language like movie scenes where actors are just trying to portray Dracula coming off the battlefield, his wife commits suicide. That just like, why? What is the whole purpose of this? It doesn't do any justice to the story. It just makes one confused when I watched it. I was just like, okay, so that was what, hour and a half of credits, 5 minutes of people, you know, just trying to make some story, but it doesn't really function because you can't understand half of it. So yeah, if you're wondering why I won't use some of the older movies for inspiration, it's just because they're so hard to understand, half of them. I will use, if I had to, like I said, the Van Helsing movie. I will use the anime series for Helsing Ultimate. I will be using the books as best as I can, Castlevania. Those are my inspirations, mainly anyway. There is one classic movie that I will take some inspiration from. Not much, but some. That one guy there. What was his name again, too? Yeah, half the actors who played Dracula before the early 2000s, I can't remember half of their names. The only good one before the early 2000s that I'm actually aware of was the what was the guy's name again? I think he was just in the news not too long ago, a year or so ago. But the most long-lived player or actor of Dracula. Oh. It's like the only classic actor of Dracula that's worth memorizing, too. Shit. Give me a sec. I am definitely going to have to look that one up because, you know, out of respect, just how long you played the character for so long. Yeah, the Bela Lugosi actor there, that's the only real good classic Dracula that I take inspiration from. It took me a minute or two to figure that one out. And that's not the one I was referring to ignore either. I was meaning the other one. The crappier one. Mind you. Lugosi did it right, for sure. He set the stage for everyone else. I'll come back to that part later. This is it. Turns for how high the Great Hall there below can go. Trying to get as much of the skeletal structure of this place built as possible too while I'm at it. That way all I have to do is straight up just fill it all in for time. I think I gave myself a bit of an unrealistic goal of trying to get it done in an actual week. A few hours a day. Personally, I don't think that's possible. How massive the scale I'm going for. There. Don't really need two of those right now. However, this area is almost perfect though for a recreation of the Helsing, or not the Helsing, the Van Helsing movie. If I had to, in all honesty. Just for this one spot though. The ravine. Didn't really need to do the second one, but I did it anyway. Skeletal structure of full tower now. Huge area for the other part of this tower on when I'm going inside to build inside. Obviously. Square than I would have liked, but can't really argue it. It's got the base the right size and shape, more or less. Can't get a perfect circle in Minecraft for sure. He's not this kind of a circle. I know for a fact there's at least 2 more towers, if I'm not mistaken. Each of which has a corresponding bridge. However, they're in off angles to what I'd expect, if I remember correctly. Base design. Only difference between most cases is this is a kind of massive construction project that most people wouldn't even bother trying to do. I am not most people. One thing I do know about these towers, though most of all, is as far as I can tell, they are evenly spaced in the most film adaptations. All the towers on these are near perfect equal length and distance, bridge length, roundness. Practically they are symmetrical towers. That much I am aware of. They are surprisingly at an odd angle in most film adaptations. Ah! My ears numb. Ah! It's ringing. Okay. They also had a corresponding bridge to one another, if I'm not mistaken. The side towers, going to need one of those other bridgeways. I thought also, because I haven't done anything in a while for streaming, that I'd just throw something, you know, leisurely on here for a while. This one a little bit wider than the other one. Just a little wider, perhaps. But that'll also throw off most of the other things too if I leave it like that. Actually, angles back a bit. And just go this. Should be about right on there. Not that much off. Just longer on one side. Maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it too. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 22. 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36. Yeah, I'm actually a lot farther off than I thought I was. So, we just fixed that a little. 6, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35. Okay. Down to 31. 6, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30, 31. 28. There's 22 across on one side. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. 2, this is 28. 26, 5, 24, 3, 22. Check one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22. Count them again. 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay. Now we're done. Right there. Two on one side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 23, 24, 22 by 24. Okay. Five, 6, 9, 10, 12, to 14, I think. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Practically should be like right on. Should be. Looks about right. Minus the funky bridge for sure. Oh, I think I'll hop off as soon as I'm done with this. setting all these columns up. But I just thought I'd, show some of the things I'm currently working on. Got this, a handful of other projects I'm doing. My book is finally out and running, out and going. Waiting an age for that to get out there. My newest book, Living with Ex-Cons. If you find yourself in New York City or somewhere in the state of New York, currently there is supposed to be 2 Barnes & Nobles with this book available. Which 2, I am not sure, I was not told. It is all about my travels and my experiences living with ex-cons. People who were released from jail, who were particularly strange individuals by far. Ultimately, not bad company in most cases, though. They all had their issues. But if you like real world events and things, check it out. Like I was saying, it's called Living with Ex-Cons. And with that, I think that's where I'm gonna call it. Well, alright, I'll make one more little skeleton. I'll make this side's bridge skeleton real quick. Unlike the normal straight bridge over there, this one has to be kind of like the other bridge. I know that's where it's gonna have to go, but for now, I guess that'll do. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and you tune in again next time. Don't know when or what I'll be streaming next time. It could be a travel video upload, it could be any number of videos. But if you'd like, I have plenty of content already on the channel. Feel free to take a look, like, comment, and subscribe, or just, leave a little like on the videos you want to see more of as well.